Hey, this is Kirk of Brother B's Bees, and we have our first swarm of 2021. It is May the 9th. That's almost 2 full months later than our first swarm last year. Now, I'm going to kind of tilt. I don't know if you can see up over my head. That is a swarm capture box. I have 6 boxes out to catch swarms. What's interesting is there is a swarm on my property, but it's not in any of the boxes. It's actually on the ground. So come along as we look at the ground swarm in Brother B's Bees. All right, I have my first swarm on the ground. Kind of unusual, but even have a small grouping over here. I was just walking along the trail to check on my bees and noticed bees flying all around. And so we have a swarm on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suit up, and then I'll come back and see if we can't get them inside of the hive. Okay, I'm going to get set up. I've got a couple of things. Got my tripod for my camera. I've got a queen excluder. I always put a queen excluder on the bottom of the box when I capture a swarm so the queen can't leave. I also start feeding them sugar water right away, so they're under my gloves. I have my internal top sugar feeder, and of course there's my jacket that I'll put on, and then I have a box over there that I'll bring over and we'll try to put them in. All right, let me get ready. Suspect queen's up in that wad right there. I don't know that for sure. It's a pretty good wad right here. What I'll probably do is I'll take that lid off if they don't go in by themselves, and I'll probably scoop gently from these 2 spots, set them in there. I think there's a good chance the rest of them will go in. They are already investigating it. They will double their body weight in nectar when they move like this. There are at least 2 fully combed out frames in there, and if they move in there, one of the first things they'll do is they'll deposit all of the nectar they brought with them in the combed out frames. They'll put that in there right away. So basically they take a to-go lunch. They carry their food with them. Usually swarms aren't terribly grumpy, but I'm going to go ahead and put my jacket on. I think the reason they're generally not quite as grumpy is, they don't really have a home to defend. I'm not saying they won't sting when they're swarming. They're more apt to sting when they're protecting the hive. And swarms are looking for a hive. Like that frame has some combing on it. All woven in that grass. There's already a little lemongrass scent on here. If you are staying in the box, they'll start fanning, kind of a homing signal fan that hopefully will draw the rest of them to them. Problem is figuring out where that queen is. Trying to be gentle enough that if I get the queen in my hand, it won't hurt her. Hopefully if I get the bulk of them in there, they'll go to them, but it's all going to depend on the queen. See how they're going right in? Okay, see right there? They're starting to crawl in. You can see it right there. Okay, I've been scooping them in and they are fanning. I don't know if you can see it there on top. These here are fanning. They will do basically a homing signal fan when they get a new location. And so the ones on the inside are calling to these on the outside. So if you can see, they're crawling up in there. So I'm going to step back a moment and see what they choose to do. I think there's a bunch on the front here fanning. So hopefully they'll all go in there, even if the queen is still out here somewhere. So let's give them a moment and let's watch what they do. There was a steady stream going in. Several are kind of hanging out on the porch right now. We've got several that are already in there. I'll watch a minute. If I sense that they're not all going to keep going in, then I'll scoop some more. See if we can't help them out just a little more. The rain is coming, so I need to try to get them in there if I can. I have no idea if I'm getting anywhere near the queen. The rain is really starting to come. First sting right there. Not sure I didn't smash her while she stung me. They're starting to get a trail going in right there again. With the rain coming, I'm just going to keep scooping. Trying to be gentle. It's all grass all the way interwoven in there. It's actually harder to get them out of grass than it is out of a tree. If we can get them to stay, there's a lot of bees in this colony. Be anxious to see. It's one of mine. I think all of mine are marked now. If I find a queen, I'll be able to know if she's mine by whether or not she's marked. Okay, they're all fanning right here. Hopefully they're going to go on in. A lot of beekeepers, they would have just put some lemongrass scent there and let them crawl in. And I do actually have some lemongrass scent in this. I'm a little nervous about this one getting caught out in the weather. That's another one that stung me. Again, it's mostly by accident. I actually smashed her between my fingers. They really aren't too bad about stinging in swarms. Again, it happens, but it's not too bad, and it tends to be by accident. All right. All right, the rain has stopped for a moment, or paused, so let's give them a moment and see what they're going to do. Seem to have started movement inside. Most of them are off the ground now. I mean, there's, I don't know, might be 100, 150 mixed in there, but we've gotten most of them, I think. They're not going back over here, which leads me to believe there's a queen in here. You can see a few down there in the grass still. Some right in there. There's a few, but most of them are in the box or in front of the box. I guess I should say in, on, or in front of the box. And what I'm doing is giving them a little bit time to calm down and go in if they will before I try to put a lid on them. Usually leave a little gap while I'm putting them in, but then I want to close it up so they don't create too much crazy comb in there. I've got 2 combed out frames and one that has partial combing. I need a little bit of cleaning up, but not too bad. They're not too bad shape. This frame was leaned up behind the box here with a bunch of bees on it. I don't know that there's enough room to slide that in right there or not. I may have to do a little work. Make sure there's not a queen in this. You know, there can be several queens in a swarm. The frame has a bad bow in it. Alright, there are some bees on the back. I'm just going to gently try to scoop them over in. So I need to put this top on here. Make sure there's no queen. I think the last swarm I caught on my property, I found a queen on the outside of the box. I think we got them in the box. I mean, just in the nick of time. So let me go find the regular lid. On the back here, I'm going to try to see if I can get them to go in here. Now I'm going to leave that and let the stragglers crawl in, and then I will move them to where I'm going to leave this colony. So looks like, I think the queen must be in there. They've all gone in. So I'm going to get out of the rain, let them all go in, and then we'll come back and sort them out some more later. So far, so good. It is really coming down. I mean, we literally got those bees in that box in the nick of time. These are pretty hardy creatures, but I'm not sure that swarm would have survived this storm. Down on the ground like that, they had no cover. I notice here, one rode back to the house with me. You can see her right there on my hat bill. But the odds of them surviving this kind of downpour on the ground in the middle of a field, maybe they could have buried up in that grass and been okay, but I think there's a possibility that not only did we get us a new colony, we may have actually save one from dying. It is really coming down. I mean, as they say in buckets, raining cats and dogs. It actually looks like someone needs to clean out their gutters. But, I mean, it is just really coming down. I'm so glad that we were able to get that colony in a box before everything broke loose. There's the hive that I put the ground swarm in to give you an idea of where it is in relation to my other colonies. I've got a colony over there, one here, and I'm actually going to put the ground swarm right next to that box facing south, which is away from me. But this is actually the little path that my wife and daughters walk the dogs in. So, looking to see if there's many bees still on the ground. There's a few in the grass, not many. I'm going to just leave it a little longer. What I want to do is move it. I've got 5 hives over there. Like the rain's coming back again. As you can see, I've got 5 hives over there. But I'm going to move this box right over there. But what I'll probably do is wait until after dark. It gives all of these bees a chance to get back inside. I've put sugar water on top up here, and I will add more, but I've got an internal top feeder that has sugar water in it. I've put a brown box around my internal top feeder, and I have put an entrance reducer on it that has a beetle block entrance. In other words, that entrance is designed so that bees can crawl in, but because of the holes there in the front, hive beetles cannot. And so it's designed to help keep hive beetles out of the colony. So they seem to have adjusted to it. When I first put it on, there was a blockage at the entrance, but that has calmed down. They are foraging quite a bit. A lot of my other colonies are, for the most part, shutting down for today, but this one is still going strong. Of course, they've just found a home, so they're trying to pack in as much as they can. Okay, they have officially found the sugar water. The colony is in its box. The box is in its new location. The reason I wanted to have some brown up here on the top, I wanted there to be enough of a difference in the look of the front of those hives that this new colony could find its way back home tomorrow.